Hello, how are we?
Hey, how are you doing? Happy bank holiday.
Lovely, mate. Lovely weather for once on bank holidays.
Is it nice up with you as well?
Yeah, it's lovely. I think the whole country's getting it.
Yeah, it's been sunny the last few days, right?
Yeah.
So I've really enjoyed it. It's been good. Sun's good. Enjoying the sunshine. Just that everybody's out at the park. Just driving around Cardiff today, and everybody's at the park, sitting down having picnics and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good, mate. Episode 10.
Episode 10 and a new home.
I'm
excited to see this. It's a bit of a test just to see what's happening. But we have my mum's here today. Hey, mum.
Hey, Suzanne. How's Suzanne's elbow?
Oh, it's getting there, I think. Yeah. I think it's good.
It's getting better.
Yeah, it's getting better. She'll be able to tell you.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
So what's coming up then, Paul? What's on the agenda?
Well, let's just talk about the new home. Let's just,
because talk about the new home first.
What we've done is we have we've created our own Hustle Hair podcast YouTube channel, and it's like starting fresh. It's really exciting to sort of see what happens, because it's starting from zero.
And actually, we've got a few things that we want to launch this year, right? Hey Lee, how are you? So yes, good. That's excellent for me, man. So I think we have a few things we want to launch this year. We're going to talk about one later on. But when the content first, I think I'm most excited about. I've got to be honest with you. I've been talking about this, and we've been talking about this for probably the best part about 9 months now, right?
Yeah.
But I'm so excited about it because it's. I really see it going like massive. I think it's going to be, because nobody else is doing anything like this in the industry. It's brand new.
Yeah.
It's going to be and it's going to evolve as well. I think it's going to evolve into something really, really cool. I've sent you some stuff through today, which I think takes us in another direction as well.
Yeah.
And it's such a great tool for everybody, for all the end users, for all the hairdressers we speak to anyway, especially.
Yeah.
It's also quite cool for clients to actually tap into and see what the kind of trends are and stuff like that. So that's going to be massive. So that's coming up later on. So we got 3 things to talk about tonight. The first one is how to grow your client base. Second one is how to find the best hairdressers for you. Don't talk about number 3. We're going to do that as it comes out later on.
Okay, teaser then.
A teaser, yeah.
So first topic today is how to grow your client base, and this is obviously a really hot topic with hairdressers, especially new hairdressers wanting to grow. People obviously want to grow very, very quickly, but have to understand these things that we're going to talk about tonight are what sort of like accumulate.
Cumulative.
Yeah. Together to give you the final product, I suppose. But
okay. So what are the key rules then, do you think, to growing your client base? And where do you, as a young stylist or as an established stylist, like I met you 4 years ago, and I've grown my clientele since I've met you, and I've used some of the techniques you've shared with me, and also reinvented some of the new ones which I kind of thought were lost, but you kind of said, no, that's a really good idea, and you kind of helped me that way. So where's the starting point? What's the line? Where do you start?
Well, education for one. I think the education that you've got to give yourself the opportunity to learn as much as possible.
Yeah.
To help you understand what clients want. I think that's massive. And personal touch. I think we've got into such a digital world, which coming on a little bit later will give you the opportunity to really connect with people very, very quickly compared to years ago. But I think what clients want, like when we get new clients in, and like you sit down and you have an actual chat with them, like a coffee, a consultation. I think that's what really sets you apart from others, just going on experience. When people come into the salon, they say, "Oh, no one's ever sat down with me before, and no one's ever."
Do you get that as well?
Yeah, no one's took the time to get to know me.
Because I sit face to face with my clients in the consultation. I never do through the mirror. I would use the mirror later on in the consultation, but never initially.
Yeah.
What does everybody else do? Just put in your comments. Do you use it? Do you do it one-to-one from behind the chair into the mirror, or do you actually sit down side by side and talk about the clients and what their needs are? Just find out. I'm interested in comments what people actually do. So I think that's really important that we share as much as we can.
Yeah.
For me, Paul, I think at a growing client base is how do you know you're growing? So you have to measure things, right?
Yep.
So what other measurements do you have in place with your team, especially your younger members who are maybe just graduating, coming on the floor? How do you how do you set that?
Well, the booking system obviously gives us numbers of new visitors and also rebookings. But when it comes to we're quite lucky because I've had a lot of new stylists recently, and they're getting full, and a lot of it is to do with brand, a lot of it's to do with work, a lot of it's to do with we're the only salon in well, not the only salon locally just to do Joico, but the work we do with Joico, I think sets you apart.
Does that give you an edge? Does that give your team an edge?
I think so, yeah.
And that will work with any other brand as well, wouldn't it? Really?
Well, it would, yeah. I mean, if in your area you're the only salon really that's sort of singing from the rooftops about this brand and what it can do for their hair and the joy of healthy hair, yeah, I think it does set you apart. Because one thing when they come in and say, "Oh, I've never heard of Josie before," it's like, "Oh, neither have I."
Jockey,
yeah.
And there's all sorts of kind of so ways people pronounce it, isn't it? It's always sorts of different pronunciation.
Yeah.
And excuse me, the meaning behind the pronunciation, it was actually started off as Joyce's company, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that's Joico. So it's Joyce's company. That's how it started.
Steve's wife.
Steve Stefano's ex-wife.
Ex-wife, yeah.
Yes.
And, widowed.
The late Steve Stefano, because I think he died in 2019 or 2020.
Yeah.
So, and we were lucky to work with Danielle, and she actually worked firsthand with Steve Stefano.
Yeah, amazing,
I was very lucky to work with Sid Cook. And Sid Cook became a CEO, and Sid Cook was also one of Steve Stefano's very, very first color experts. So I've been blessed to work with them and getting that information firsthand. Almost it's like it's like the gospel being handed down by the disciples, the original disciples. So the original 12. I love that, and that's why I've become so brand loyal, I think, to Joico.
But I think when growing client base as well, one of the first things that I did when I used to go out, I mean, I think business cards are lost now. I don't think people really use business cards as much. And I remember when we were at the awards, I think you were like, "Oh, I haven't got any business cards on me," and they're still a real powerful tool.
They are a powerful tool, but there's a modern equivalent, isn't there?
There is.
I love. So I think I've got it here. I'm just looking at on my phone.
Yeah.
Is that on my Instagram? I've got that.
Yeah.
Which is my QR code.
Yeah.
So what I do now is actually direct people via my Instagram to my QR code, and they automatically go to follow you on Instagram. I think this is still underutilized. I've shown this since I've learned this. I think it was your Stacey taught me this, right?
Was it?
I think so. And since I've done that, I use it all the time.
Yeah.
And I've gained a lot of new sort of followers because I kind of force their hand readers to scan it. Put your phone on, do that.
Yeah.
And so that makes a difference. I think that's a cool way to do it. And it's a simple thing. So you kind of you go into your profile. There's my profile. You tap on the three little things at the top here. There. And then you got a list of stuff. And in there it says QR code just there. And you just tap on the QR code. And it gives you your own personalized QR code, which becomes your business card, calling card. Yeah. I love that. I think that's like a great modern way to use a business card without having to invest in a business card. And I always think about business cards. Did you ever see American Psycho?
I have Christian Bale.
Mr. Bale,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
they're talking about the business cards and how people, the embossed and the card and the value and all that.
yeah,
So it takes away that element where you can be a bit psychopathic about it.
yeah.
That's
But
kind of mad.
yeah, I mean that's how I started. To be honest, I was out in like in town on a night out, and I'd just be dishing out business cards, and I used to use social media at the very beginning, and it was a case of I would do like a teaser status. So it was like, oh, if you see me tonight, come up and grab a 15%
Yeah,
discount.
yeah,
And the amount of people that would come up and say, oh, like I seen your status, can I have one of your cards, and
yeah.
then give them it.
That's a genius. I've never done that.
No.
No, I love that. Tell me about that again. What would you do and where would you advertise it?
Well, I'd just be out because I'd be out every night. Well, every night, every Saturday
I
night.
use it because you even went to Ibiza for like a season, right?
Not a season. I used to go like every year.
Yeah, but you were there for like a few weeks, right?
Well, I've been yeah.
Didn't you work? Didn't you work there? Didn't you work? Oh, I thought you worked the season there. Okay.
Nah. I wish I'd have done that when I was younger. I think, but I never really like I've said on a few of these. Like, I was always like a real shy kid. Yeah, really shy. My mum can back me up for that.
That was terrible.
You were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I've always been like, yeah, it's really funny. I think we're quite similar because you traveled in London with me, right?
Yeah.
And I like, where wouldn't I go in London? What wouldn't I do?
Where wouldn't you travel? Where wouldn't you do? What would you do?
Yeah, what mode of transport wouldn't I use when I was with
Oh,
you?
the tube.
I wouldn't go on the tube.
Yeah.
It was like it's just like it's too overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
It actually makes me anxious. I'm like, I can't go down there. I'd rather pay through the nose than use a taxi than use the tube. Like that's crazy, right? But
well, it is and it isn't. Like I use Uber when I get to as soon as I get to St Pancras, I'm in an Uber and I'm off to where I've got to be. It's just so much easier.
Yeah, well, yeah, you taught me to use an Uber as well. Do you remember the first time we were in
the luncheon?
The London hotel? Remember that fantastic hotel? We were staying in some crummy one around the corner.
Yeah.
But then we got the Uber. And I'd never really used it. Even though I had the app and everything, because I'd never used it before, it kind of freaked me out. And my wife uses it. She does it. She's like super techie. But I was still very reluctant to use it. Now I use it more often, you know, and I do think it's good value. Anyway, I want to go back to that point, but you where would you put the status? You write the status and the status would say what, and then what would happen?
Well, first off, it'd be MySpace. So a MySpace status.
No way. Are you that old?
Yeah. MySpace was I made used to be able to customize it all.
Yeah.
I used to make mine. It was called the Hairdresser, and it would be playing like my salon playlist.
Seriously?
Yeah, and I just did that, and I wasn't even really like in a salon. It was just like when it was House of Hair in my parents' garage.
Yeah, really? Yeah.
But I always created this like I think I've always tried to create.
You were putting your vision into actual reality, weren't you? Really?
Yeah.
You know, and you always had the big picture, I suppose. That was it. So you'd got MySpace, and you would write what on there?
If you're out tonight in Kettering and you see me, come up to me and grab one of my like discount cards.
I think that's genius.
Yeah,
I love that. I think that would work today, wouldn't it? Really,
it would work today. I mean, yeah, come up and like let me follow you on Instagram, something like that. And when I follow you, because what used to happen is people would come up to you when they've got a bit more confidence, a few more drinks in them, and they'd come up to you about 3-4 in the morning, and they'd want a full on consultation, and you'd sort of you'd say, oh yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that, whatever. Monday morning comes around and they walk in the salon, you're like, I recognize them.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, do you remember what you said you'd do with my hair? I'm like, no, we'll have a proper consultation on the day.
Yeah. And I think that's important because when you put the status out there, then you follow up by actually, when people do come up, you don't get annoyed, you don't get like you actually, oh hi, how are you? Oh yes, here's the card, and then they'll ask the questions. Like the usual question is like, whenever I go out with my wife or whatever, we're in company that I'm not familiar with, the question I always gets, oh, what would you do with mine?
Yeah.
Or like it's always number one. The first question. I
Always.
don't know if everybody else gets the same thing. If there's any hairdressers in the chat, do you get the same question? As soon as somebody finds out your hairdresser, usually the first question is, "What would you do with my hair?" And
Yeah.
I always will engage truthfully and like, yeah, and I'll speak to them and talk them through it. I
Yeah.
think, and that has won me a lot of clients because I've taken the time. And actually, if you do a real good consultation when they've got a drink in their hand, they feel really confident.
Yeah.
The more often than not, I've had the experience of people saying, "Oh, my hairdresser never talks to me like that. They never told me about face shape. They never told me about about what's good for my skin tone and
Yeah.
those type of things." And very often hairdressers don't know that stuff, do they?
No. Well, no. And that's it. And that's why I said education. The first thing about how to grow your client base is education, because you can't expect to grow a big client base and then people come into the salon and say, "Oh, what would you do with mine?" You're like,
Yeah,
"Well, I'd probably do what you've got now." It's like,
yeah.
"Oh, okay. Well, I'll stay where I am then," sort
So
of thing.
yeah, and I think education works both ways. It's both educating yourself and then
Yeah.
educating the customer within in front of you, right? On
Yeah.
what's best for them and how it works and so on and so forth. So it's not just about educating yourself, but an education, but and gaining more knowledge. It isn't just about gaining knowledge about hair.
Yeah.
It's a gaining knowledge how to communicate, where to communicate, your social media communication, your general communication, how you write things down, all those things. That's part of the education process.
Yeah.
So education is far more reaching than just like I learned to do a new color technique or a new haircutting technique.
Yeah.
That's a given, right?
Yeah.
It's all the other stuff on top of that, I think.
Well,
That
it is,
actually,
and that's why, going back to what a couple of weeks ago, the Color Communicator award,
yeah,
that was massive, because I like to feel I've worked so hard on being able to communicate to people exactly, like, I want them to feel excited and be able to envisage what they're going to have
yeah,
before they have it, and
yeah,
that's what I've worked really hard on.
yeah. And I think that actually the way the medium you use as well to communicate it in person, on
Yeah,
your socials, with your YouTube, the way you edit the stuff is really good. Like I said, you've just alluded to it earlier. You were doing that on MySpace like 20 years ago, maybe, or
yeah,
when you were like 14, 15, or whenever it was, and that's how you started. And you kind of created this whole vision about what you wanted people to projection of yourself, really.
yeah.
And I think that's been really, really key to your growth.
I'm,
The
I
Color
mean,
Communicator Award, you know, at the Color World Awards. I mean, that's massive. You were in with such big names. One of the guys who was in there was like, as I don't know, 100,000 followers on Insta.
yeah,
So,
Gareth, yeah,
and you were up there with that, and it's just showing now where you're doing. But again, I'll go back to it on the evening when we were all sat there, and there was a
yeah,
real buzz in the room, and your video came up on the screen, and as soon as you started speaking, the whole place went quiet.
yeah,
Everybody started listening. And then after your video, you could the noise rose again, even though they were showing other people's videos.
yeah,
And when I saw your video, it drew me in. I said, "Oh, that's a winner," because it's like, even though I hadn't seen anybody else's, it was just like so up to, and current and up to date.
yeah.
And that's how you communicate well, and that's how you kind of grow your client base. I think is being relevant to the people that you want to attract. You can't please everybody all of the time.
No,
You have to attract. So you have to be yourself. You have to be authentic, and you have to be. Then you'll attract the people who are like you, and the
yeah.
people who won't like you, then they'll go to other people who they find their own tribe. Really, remember?
That's it. And that's what you've got to learn as a young stylist as well, that you're not going to please everybody,
Yeah,
that you're going to make mistakes, and there's going to be times where a client doesn't actually fit you and you don't actually fit a client.
yeah,
No matter how skilled you think you are,
yeah,
there's those times where it's like, God, like, I can't actually give you what you want,
yeah,
because what you want maybe isn't realistic. Maybe I don't want to play up to the fact of, oh yeah, we'll do this and this. It's like, no, I want to give you it really straight. And to be
yeah.
honest, we're not going to achieve that.
Yeah, and it's things you want to do as well. Like if somebody came up to me, like I told you in Color World, there was a lot of rainbow hair. Do you remember?
Yeah,
And I was like, yeah, I really understand the skill involved in doing that. You have to be really talented to pull it off really well.
yeah,
But it's not something I'm interested in.
no,
So if somebody came to me for that, I probably would advise them to go to somebody else who's better than me than that.
Yeah, I give them to my team. My team love doing like vivids and everything, and it just doesn't float my boat.
Yeah, yeah. That's not what I'm into, and so I would rather then give him the right directions to go and signpost him to the right person. I'd say.
Yeah,
And that type of honesty, I think, is a big thing, you know. So
I think that's.
Go on.
I was just going to say, I think that's a really nice thing just to either finish on or follow on from is honesty. I think that's how you grow your client base, is just being completely honest with them, like where you're at in your career for one, because I think that's a big thing. And maybe we'll get onto that with how to find the perfect hairdresser.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be looking at work online, say on a business page, and or in like photographic or whatever, and they're looking at images of hair done by hairdressers 20 years plus.
Yeah.
And then they'll go to their hair salon and they'll say, "Oh, can I book in with a graduate stylist, please?" And then they'll show them a 20 plus year hairdresser's work as inspo and expect them to recreate it. And I think
I think and there's a positive aspect to that as well. Only because I've had young stylists who work for me, and I always like to, you know, it's always an opportunity for the clients to grow with them. And I find if you're a really nice person and you've taken interest in that client, they will support you and they will follow you. They want you to succeed.
Yeah.
You know, they want to have grey hair. They want to succeed. They know they may be getting a bit cheaper, but they're willing to go on the journey with you if you communicate it right. I think that's what's really amazing, you know.
That's the thing. I mean, clients you've still got, clients that I've got, like 15-year clients, and you think, God, like, what was I doing 15 years ago?
What's the longest client you've got?
15. I've been hairdressing 15 years, so 15 years.
Okay, mine's 43 years.
Wow.
She said, I phoned her today. I was speaking to today because I know she's very anxious about me moving on to a different direction. Because I haven't talked to you. I've talked to you about it, but not many people have. But I'm going to become what they call what my wife has termed as a portfolio hairstylist.
Okay.
Which I kind of like. I like the portfolio hairstylist because I'm doing so many different things now that I don't no longer really have to have the need for a salon of my own and my own team. And I'm moving in a slightly different direction. So I'm going to work in different salon spaces, but also working with the brand, also working with you, working on our own collaborations. There's a lot to be done, you know. And then I want to enjoy it and not feel that there's a slog. And I think it was just becoming a slog for me what I was doing.
I think that's a perfect video for you to do, like on your channel. Like,
okay,
I think you like. There's these really clickbaity sort of thumbnails where somebody's like shocked, and it's your face, and it's like I've got something to tell you, sort of thing. And I think that would be a really good way to introduce yourself, because I was watching your new video yesterday with Jess of the little graduated bob you did.
Yeah.
And I just think you need to talk more.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we can't stop you talking on here, but on your videos you don't talk. So like. It's like a parallel universe. Like
yeah. It's funny. I kind of like, and you know, when we do education sessions together, or I've done them on my own, I'll talk all along. But when I do film, I kind of just try to let the work do because you don't actually see me on the pictures either. You just see my hands. No. So and I think there's a value in it. And again, you know, like I'm going to try out those things. I'm still new. I'm just going to check my phone, but I'm getting quite close to the big number at the moment. Must jumped up again. Yeah. So I'm only now 59 short of 40,000.
Yeah.
And I've had another video today that hit 1 million. So
have you?
Yeah. So
amazing, mate.
I got a couple on 1 million now. So it's like, you know, it's going in the right direction, but when you consider I don't really know what I'm doing, it's kind of, you know. But I think there's that. The only thing I can say is that it's my kind of vibe. It's, I put out that I'm honest about what I'm doing. I think, and I do think there's a couple of things I want to do, which is more spoken. I think, and but you know, I am kind of nervous about putting myself out in that aspect the way you do then, but. I think it's a generational thing, you know?
I was.
Yeah. You just got to do it, haven't you? Right?
You've got to do it. You've just got to do it. Like, if you want to grow and you want to embrace what's happening in this world, and people want to know the person behind the brand or whatever it may be, like, I think a perfect thing for you would be is to talk about what's happening, and then just follow on. I think you had a load of mannequins today.
Yeah, 20.
And I just think that's 20 videos. Well, it's more than 20 videos, but
oh my god, that's almost a year's worth.
Yeah,
for me.
And you could you can talk. Like, I think your channel would grow more long form and talking.
Yeah, I agree. I just need to get more. I need to get the Canva thing down, about. I need to get that. We went to have a meeting about that, but you were called away too quickly, if you remember. So we crammed everything into.
Yeah, because I actually talk about that. I've obviously this channel, Hustle Hair Podcast. I've got a Paul Watts vlogs, so that video launches on Thursday, the first on there.
Yeah,
and I've just got like Paul Watts Hair Reacts, so I like react to like funny.
Right, okay, reaction videos.
Yeah,
I did those on Instagram, and it went down like a storm. And I was like, I was actually reacting to my own video.
Oh yeah, I know, the remix.
Yeah, I remixed it, and I was on the train. I was bored. I'd never done it before. I thought, I'm going to do a reaction to my own video.
Yeah,
and people thought it was funny because I was pulling faces about what I was doing.
Well, that was when we were both delayed, wasn't it?
What's that?
We were both delayed on the flight.
We were delayed on the flight. Do you remember? Yeah,
separate flights, but yeah.
Separate flights, yeah. You were delayed in your end. I was delayed my end. So I just did it while everybody was boarding. So yeah, it was fun. I can't remember how I did it, but I'll have to do another couple of those. I think they're quite good.
Yeah.
So let's have the next subject up, the next topic, which I kind of like.
We'll just touch on this. Take us on the journey. What's happening? We need to know now. I think it's perfect for Sunday's video or something like that to engage your audience even more, mate.
Okay.
I do. We'll have a chat about it tomorrow or something.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah, or tonight after here. But next topic being how to find the hairdresser for you. And it's coming from a hairdresser's point of view also to help you guys understand what clients are wanting from us as hairdressers to actually come to us. So yeah, you kicked off a question to me last time. I'll ask you a question. Like, what do you think clients are really searching for right now to be for you to be their hairdresser?
Oh, so that's quite a broad question. I think it's a really good one though. I think what clients are actually looking for is real professionalism more than ever before. I think the industry is kind of looking for real professionals that know what they're talking about, understand the subtleties of, like, we worked to Leave and we talked to Leave 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we've both known her roughly the same amount of time, but I've seen how professional she's becoming, and that actually attracts a lot of people to her because how she portrays herself is about being professional.
Yeah.
So I think in whatever you do, you have to be honest. There's honesty, integrity, professionalism in our industry. Sadly, there's a lot of, I'd like to say, and I totally get it, but it's not my thing. There's a lot of show ponies.
Yeah.
Who do like crazy videos about clients do this, or have you had a client like this, or when you're waiting for a client, and all that type of stuff. I'm always nervous about that because I think you kind of are almost biting the hand that feeds you by mocking the client, and it can be funny, and I've seen lots of funny ones, but in the back of my mind I was like, oh God, if I did that, I wonder how my clients would take that. Even though they say they love you and all that, you've only got to just overstep that mark, and it's a very fine balance. I think you lose people. But I do think that when people see, like what I found on my YouTube especially, some of the biggest reactions I get is from my voiced over stuff, where I'm saying this is what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and always emphasizing the why I'm doing it.
Again, you're getting a lot of the engagement on the ones you're talking over.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Imagine you're sitting there or standing there doing a haircut explaining. This is why my channel just blew up. Those ponytail haircuts that I was breaking down, simple.
Yeah.
People just want simplicity.
So I think that, like, find the right hairdresser for you. if you look at the client's perspective, okay, what first of all, you have to look at the work, where they posted the work, and see what they're doing. Is that what you want to look like? Is that the type of thing you like? If they're doing like really sharp, technical haircuts, is that you, or do you want more freedom? So maybe that's not the person for you. So you have to look about what your hair goals are.
Yeah.
Have a real clear, have a real clear thing what you want to look like. What are your hair goals? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to take your color? Where do you want to take your haircut? Even if it's like, I don't know if I could ever do that, but you have a vision of it, then find the hairdressers doing that type of things. And then they'll give you an honest answer about whether they're suitable or unsuitable. And that's how you start narrowing down the field, really.
Yeah.
Or do you want to have a good time and have like a stylist that's going to entertain you? Fine, go for that stylist to entertain you. Think they're wacky, or they kind of like doing the comedy stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
The edutainment. Edutainment's a new word, isn't it? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
So doing the edutainment. So choose a stylist maybe does the edutainment because you may like that. I just think it's a short-term thing. But they say your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah.
And I think clients normally pick the people that actually resonate with them and how they feel they want to look.
Definitely.
So I think it's about feeling about how you want to look rather than just the look as well, and how that person comes across.
Yeah.
How would you answer the question? Same question.
How to find the hairdresser for you? How to find the hairdresser for you? Yeah, from a client's perspective, like you were saying, what we finished on the last one being honesty. I think a lot of people are craving, like you said, professionalism, but it's that honesty factor where they go to somebody and it's like, God, you're the first person to tell me no. It's like they've gone round salon after salon after salon to try and achieve this look. Right, I've come to you now because you're fifth on the list. It's like, okay, cool. What are we doing? It's like, oh, I've been wanting this. It's like, no, that's not happening. And then, well, everyone else has said it can happen. It's like, well, why are you here?
Yeah,
that's one of the big things. It's like,
I think when I remember somebody saying to me a long time ago doing a consultation that we emphasized on new clients.
Yeah.
There's a new client, do this. And actually what you have to remember is somebody's old client.
Yeah.
And what you have to find out is the reason why they've changed. Very often they won't tell you why initially. Yeah. They'll just, I just fancy change. Or I really like my stylist. There's already a feeling of disloyalty. Most clients who've been with the stylist for a while feel a lot of loyalty to them. Then they'll make up some sort of bullshit excuse of why they're changing to justify it to themselves. Yeah. And when you ask them that question, why have you changed? They'll be very defensive normally and say, oh, well, there was nothing wrong. It was all okay. It's just, I feel like a bit changed. And you just gotta have to leave that there. And then you have to win them over slowly. And then over time, usually within, if you're doing a long color job, by the time you get into the styling part, they'll say, well, actually, I didn't get this, or this has been such a different experience because I always get same again, or those type of things, will start cropping up. And that's where your biggest learns are, is also staying very aware of what you're doing with that client when they come to you. Yeah. And I think, that not only the way that clients find you, but how you keep your clients as well. And I think, I've got a 3 haircut rule.
Yeah.
So that, it just keeps me honest. Like if you've had the same haircut 3 times, on the 3rd time, we're going to change it somehow.
Yeah.
Because we have to keep evolving. It makes me fresh, keep me thinking, but it also keeps my client fresh. And I think the same with color. I know you do the same with color as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, introducing like apricot tones was a big thing I was doing last year with some of the blondes, and then now we've moved on to like the SBs where we're dropping in. We're not so much going into like apricots. We're coming away, maybe transition a little bit closer to their natural, having those pieces in there for low maintenance. But yeah, I mean, every 3rd appointment every 2nd appointment will be discussion about the next, about what we could potentially change, see how this feels for the next 6 weeks, and then when you come back, we could maybe like reconvene. But yeah, it's keeping everything fresh. And I think that is like, because we're both very busy and we both travel all over the place, I think that does also bring a want factor as well.
Yeah.
to the business. Like, we get a lot of clients come to the business because they see how much we're doing, and it's like, oh, I want to be a bit. I want to know what they do. I want to be a bit a part of that and that sort of thing. So when people ask, oh, does like what you're doing bring you clients in the sense of educating and shows and that, you sort of think not really, but then on the outside it does.
I think it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
So I think, what we're doing on the outside, the education we provide for the brands and stuff. It puts you in people's consciousness.
Yeah.
It makes them think about you, and it may not be immediate, but over time they start becoming more and more curious until in the end they'll say, okay, I'm going to give this guy a go.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember, people only ever change a habit, or they only change a stylist if they're bored or they're unhappy with the service. So sometimes it takes a long time, because they could be happy, with that stylist for maybe a year, 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah.
But the moment that there's a mistake, or they become bored, or that there's been an issue, you're the guy they've been looking at for a long time. They're going to come and try you out.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of that as well. It's not always overnight. You're not going to get many people, because clients tend to be quite loyal. If they're thinking about the hair and they're conscious about their hair, the majority stay loyal for a long period, usually over time as well. Yeah. So how to find the hairdresser for you? Well, you find the one who's doing, the most up-to-date work that suits you, that looks right for you, and also the person that's is always looking at the next thing to come.
Yeah.
And is your current stylist doing that? Is the salon you go into, are they creative? Are they
innovative?
Attentive? Do they look after you? Do they go above and beyond? Is it value for money? Do you feel you're getting all those things? And that's how you establish it. And there's no reason why you can't look elsewhere, like looking over the neighbor's fence, if you like.
Yeah.
That's the way I would look at it. And there's no reason why you can't look at it. But to find the hairdresser for you is very much about, asking where you are right now. How do you feel? Are you being totally satisfied? Are you making do? Are you giving your hairdresser like excuses why they haven't done certain things? Is there a better alternative? And I think I had a conversation with my wife today, and we were talking about change and how people change. And she said, well, look, people basically change through inspiration or desperation. And what you want to do as a hairdresser is inspire people, so people feel inspired to find a new stylist, or you take advantage of somebody who's desperate because they're so bored or unhappy.
Yeah.
So that's the way I would look at it for that, So to find the right hairdresser, I think for clients, is to look about what that person's doing. Are they aligned with your thought process? Do they speak your language? Is it somebody you can sit in a chair, feel comfortable with? Are they already educating themselves and educating themselves further? So it aligns with, I want to move on. That's how I personally look at changing a hairdresser, or finding the right hairdresser that speaks with you. You might not somebody who wants to talk like me. You might want somebody who's quiet. Does it show in their outward presentation? That's what they do.
Yeah,
that's a good way. That's a good way to look at it. I think to find the best hairdresser is, what do you put in your checklist of what you want to see from a stylist?
Cool.
What do you think?
Perfectly answered.
Well, years of experience. I'm a portfolio stylist, don't you know?
Right. So the final thing we want to talk about is we want to engage with you guys. And we're looking for 3 salons across the country. Did
we say 3?
Well, yeah.
Okay, 3 it is.
All over. So top, middle, or bottom. What's that off? Top, middle, or bottom?
Top, middle, bottom. Oh gosh, I do know where that's from. Was that not Bullseye?
No.
Top, middle, bottom. What's that?
Strike It Lucky.
Strike It Lucky. I knew it was something like that.
Michael Barrymore.
Yeah, top and the bottom.
So yeah, we wanted to launch cut color content in your salon, and we're looking for 3 salons across the country that want to host an education event where we will come to you. You get the places for free on the course, but then what we're going to do is use your space to then basically sell a course to.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. So this is something we've been working on for a while, right? Really, like, I'm super stoked, excited, whatever, about this particular course. So cut color content, what does it mean? So first of all, there's the cutting element. So there'll be 3 haircuts, which are really on trend at the moment, and something we're working on for the last 2 or 3 months. There'll be 3 color techniques to go with them. The haircuts are super commercial, salon friendly, happening right now, and they're going to be big for the rest of this year, really. Then the whole premise about it is for aspirational stylists, I would say. That's the way I'm looking at myself. People who maybe have a presence on socials already, or people who want to build a presence on socials, on YouTube, or on. That's how it began, through YouTube, really.
It is, yeah.
And the idea is, like, if you turn your attention to YouTube, that in 90 days, we believe we could grow your YouTube channel up to 1,000 subscribers within 90 days. And the way I can tell you that we did that is because we've tested this. I was the guinea pig.
Yeah.
And in 90 days of starting my YouTube channel with the goal of 1,000 subscribers, which is always the hardest. The first 1,000 is the hardest, Paul, right?
Yeah, and the reason we want to get you to 1,000 is because we want to get you to 1,000 subscribers and then 4,000 watch hours, so then we can help you monetize. It's a way of taking, of what you do behind the chair daily.
Yeah,
we'll show you how to capture it, the angles, the lighting, the sound, and then how to create these long form videos. So you'll release 1 long form video a week
using the right editing tools, the right support materials that happen in the back end of it, which I thought was very complicated, but actually is quite simple.
So simple.
Yeah.
So simple.
And the other thing about that, so in 90 days, with the goal of being 1,000 subscribers, in 90 days, I hit 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So we know it works. And it's been uber successful for me personally. So I've started my YouTube channel on the 21st of October. Well, I actually had it 2 years before, I did nothing with it. I think I started off with 127 subscribers.
Yeah.
And I hadn't posted on it for over 2 years. And then in October 21st, 2022, I started in earnest to commit to doing YouTube. And we're now in the 30th of May, 2023. So what's that? That's 8 months. I'm now on I'm 50 short of 40,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
My channel's already reached the numbers to be monetized. So I added 10 million views on my shorts in 90 days to be monetized, which I've done. And now I'm hitting about 2,500 to 3,000 watch hours per 28 days, which continues the monetization. But if you want to become monetized, you need to hit 4,000. But mine's consistently hitting 3,000 now on the long form as well.
Yeah.
So it's working really well. I've got several videos of one of 2.9 million, one of 1.4, and I've got 2 now. Just hit 1 million. So and actually, if you see the videos that have got the big views, they are really simple. Just filming what I do, and as Paul said, I don't really speak a lot on them.
Yeah.
So the whole idea between cut color content is for aspirational stylists who want to have a greater presence on YouTube, create a passive income, use it on your other socials as well to build an awareness. But we can show you how to do that and build the content, and what content tools to use best to give your videos the real professional flavor. And I can only say from my own personal experience working with Paul that is being made so easy. Like if you know that before I started this process, I couldn't even copy and paste, and that's the truth. I couldn't. Remember?
Yeah, no, you couldn't. You couldn't.
I still have to. I still do it with the tongue. I'll do it again.
I think the content factor of this course is the pièce de résistance. I think that is
nothing like it. There's nothing like it out there. Nothing.
No, there's nothing. And on the course, you learn 3 cuts, 3 colors, like bang on trend color techniques that you'll be able to use and manipulate going forward.
Straight into salon. Yeah.
The reason we need to show you how to cut and color just these ways is because we want to help you create content around them to then start to boost your YouTube journey. And then that's cutting, coloring, content. That whole thing in a nutshell is just something which is just so powerful, and you'll learn great skills of cutting and coloring, but the content part of it is what will set you free.
Yeah.
With regards to,
we already did a soft launch of this. I think it was back in October last year when I started my YouTube. You came to Cardiff with your beautiful assistant, Jess. She came with you.
Stacey,
sorry. Jess is your wife, sorry. Stacey came with you. And you launched it in my salon with my team, and also invited guests we had there. If you remember, I think it was 25 people altogether, wasn't it?
And it was a tease, mate, wasn't it? Like
it was amazing. It went down so well, but what everybody got the cut, they all got the color. What they couldn't get their heads on with the content creation. But now I'm still friends with those people, the people I didn't know came on the course. I've linked up with them to see their socials now, to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Incredible. Just like how they've changed their socials from being social phobic or being technophobes on doing it, and actually doing some great videos and great reels and stuff like that. Like, it's been amazing to watch them grow.
And it was just, I mean, that is the basics, the pure basics, which was teased.
Yeah.
When the whole thing on this course of the content is just, no one's doing it. No one is doing the content side of what we've got.
Yes.
So that's why I get excited.
So what we want is 3 salons in the UK. I can't believe you said 3. I thought we were going to go 1 or 2, but 3 it is. I'll lay you off.
Top, middle, bottom.
Top, middle, bottom. So if you want to learn and be one of the first in the UK to actually be able to hold the course, cut the color content, it's going to become massive. I can guarantee you that. If you want to be the first to host it in the salon, you get the course for free, and you invite as many guests as you want from friends salons or other salons, whatever you want, or your own teams, and you get it delivered to you, and we'll show you how the content works. Or just DM us, put it in the chat if you're interested, put your hand up, and we'll talk you through it, and we'll make it a really great experience for you, and actually get you to use it on your socials as well, which is really important for your customers to see that you're still pushing forward and you still want to learn new stuff, and that you're up to date and current on trends as they happen, because that's what clients love to hear.
Yeah, so we're basically saying 3 because we want 1 up in sort of the north, Scotland, the north,
Midlands,
and then southern,
whether it be southwest or hopefully southwest, because I'm living in the southwest.
Yeah, or
Wales
London,
great, or London, but that's
there,
more traveling. But yeah, like Wales, Cornwall, across south, Brighton, London, anywhere, we will liaise and put this course on for you. You get the course for free. You can invite your guests. We'll talk to you about that. Then you'll get to see it. Some really cool haircuts. There's a short, medium, and long length haircut. Section patterns simple to do. You'll execute in the salon. It gives you a great foundation. Colors are super fast and express. So again, you can use them in the salon, get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah.
And then the content stuff is stuff that you kind of may or may not have seen before, which will help to launch you take you on to another level, really. It's about leveling up.
Absolutely.
So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
So I'd love to people just put their hands up, say they want to come and do that, wherever they are. And we'll organize that and hopefully get it done this year. And then next year, we've got a massive one coming up on this. I'm not even going to talk about that. Should we talk about it? I don't know.
No, let's wait and let's get some interest in the salons, and then we can tell those guys what we've got coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That'll be the good way to do it, because it's all going ahead probably May next year.
Yeah.
That's provisional booking, and I'm so excited. That's so.
I mean, you can tease it just to get people, like with the salon that we'll go into. This is something that we're planning.
Yeah. It's planned.
Yeah,
it's planned, and we just need to nail the date down and get the and choose the venue out of the venues we've seen.
Yeah.
The venues are insane.
Well, tell them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a teaser.
Okay. How much am I allowed to reveal?
32 words.
32 words. So cut color content will be coming to you streamed live with real guests, 10 VIP places from a location in Ibiza.
Yeah.
And that's going to be like, it's a VIP experience, totally 3 days. It's a 3-day course. What we do in the salon for you will be, for the Cut Club, will be 1 day. It's a look and learn rather than a hands-on. But the VIP will be fully hands-on, fully immersive. We've got videographer coming with us too. We'll have a chef to pamper you at all your food needs.
Yeah, party. There's a party.
And there's a party. We've got a DJ as well. So you'll have your own personalized video to go home with, use on your socials to show what you did and how you did it, all edited for you as the star of the show. And you'll get some really cool looks to go home with, fully immersed in, totally understand. 1 look per day. And we have, at the end of the day, there'll be a social gathering with everybody all working on the socials together. So we can all do the right things and explain what we're doing, and how you twist it and how you turn it, make it fit your brand is exactly entirely up to you. But you have both Paul's help and my help to be able to do that. And I think it's going to be insane in the backdrop of Ibiza. That's what we just cannot wait to do.
Yeah. Amazing.
Insane.
Cool. Well, that's enough teasers and enough things for tonight. Join us next week, 6 o'clock again. It is already down below. If you're watching on YouTube, it's already pre-scheduled, so you can go there and click it to remind you. We'll do this as well just to show you. Ian worked on a little discount code for some scissors.
Yeah. So this is where yoescissors.co.uk. Just do hustled 10, and I think it's either 10 or 20% discount. And code is for everybody who watches. It's a great. They are absolutely amazing. The branding, they use Wings, Ochre, Green Mouse. They've got the highest quality scissors, and they are great guys to deal with. They really are. They're very supportive. They support within the industry. They're really good. Hi, Katrina. How are you doing? So they are really cool, really good guys, and you get a great discount as well. And I think they do a payment plan as well over one, like I think PayPal or one of those where you can spread the costs over. If a Green Mouse, you want to buy a Green Mouse and it's £1,000, you don't spend that. You could do it over, I think, over a year if you wanted to. Oh. But there's payment options, 3 payments or whatever suits your needs. They can help you. Great guys. Go on the website, have a look. Hustled 10, hustled as not hustle, but hustled with a D, 10. There it is. And it looks like Hustle DO, Hustle 10. Yeah. And you get a great discount from them. And they've been really good in supporting us through this as well. So it's been great. Amazing. Pleasure as always, mate. Thank you so much. Amazing, mate. Great one. Number 10 was worth it. So is shea butter good? Shea butter, yeah. Shea butter is really good. It's in a lot of products, shea butter. Yeah. It's very moisturizing, and it's softening, and it gives a great shine. Shea butter is really, really good. I'm trying to think of what products that has shea butter in it. I think a lot of the balms and treatments do. Can't specifically remember which ones, but I know it's contained in 1 or 2 of our products, shea butter, because it does a really great softening and a shine element to it. It makes moisture. So shea butter is really good. Great question. Anything else in there? That's it. So that's it, mate. Bang on. Bang on. So yeah, done. We will see you next week, 6 o'clock, for more discount codes. Yeah, podcast. More discount codes. Right. Thank you so much, mate. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. See you all soon. Take care. Peace out. Take care.